And welcome back to another video where I'm going to be going over someone's WrestleMania record. Clearly you people liked my video about Randy Orton. So this time I'm going to be going over a female wrestler's record, and this one is Charlotte Flair, someone I greatly like and will defend very often. So we're going to be going over her WrestleMania matches and deciding if she should have won or if she should have lost these matches. And I'm pretty sure I know the minority might know what I think, but I think you guys might be surprised. So we're going to be kicking things off with her first WrestleMania appearance alongside two other people's first WrestleMania appearance. This one was for the brand new WWE Women's Championship when Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch all battled it out in a triple threat. And I know a lot of people believed that Sasha Banks should have won this triple threat. Ultimately, Vince's favorite and the Flair was the victor. Charlotte became the first women's champion and began her big, long-standing rivalry with Sasha Banks, where they hot potatoed the title, which was something I was never really a big fan of. I never really liked hot potatoing championships. So that was her first Mania win, and I know a lot of people will always believe Sasha Banks should have won this. And honestly, it really could have gone either way, in my opinion. WrestleMania 33, Charlotte Flair was in another multi-person match, but this time, Bayley and Nia Jax were a part of the match, alongside Sasha Banks and Charlotte, in a fatal four-way elimination match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley was heading into this match as the champion. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably expected Charlotte to win this, but Bayley was the victor. Bayley was the victor and won this match. So I guess, you know, it made sense. Bayley was not going to lose the title. I didn't really think Bayley was going to lose. I know a lot of people probably thought she probably was, but Bayley winning made sense, at least in my opinion. Charlotte is now 50-50 at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 34, ho ho ho, everyone's favourite WrestleMania match is up next, Charlotte Flair and Asuka. And I know there's a lot of debate about this one. How Charlotte buried Asuka, and ruined Asuka's undefeated streak, and all that jazz. I hear it a lot. How people always say Charlotte should not have won. Though to an extent, I can agree to some of those claims. I can agree to why people would say this, but if we use what we've learned nowadays, let's look back. Let's say Asuka did win this match, and everything that happened to Charlotte played out as per normal. Asuka celebrates her big title win, the Iconics debut, they beat up Asuka, Carmella runs down with her briefcase, cashes in, and is now the women's champion, and Asuka's undefeated streak is gone by Carmella and her Money in the Bank cash-in. So, when you use that logic, do you think it was fair that Charlotte should have won now? But if you still think Asuka should have won, then that's perfectly fine. But I look at this as, well, let's look at what we know now. If Asuka did win, Carmella most likely would have done the exact same thing. But a lot of people may argue, well, Carmella would have failed her cash-in. Or she would have cashed in on Alexa Bliss. I think you guys forget Nia Jax won the title at WrestleMania, so Carmella would have been screwed So I look at it as Carmella would have been screwed with either Nia Jax or Asuka as champion. So she would have been screwed regardless. So, again, I feel like them having Charlotte win was mainly because they wanted Carmella to use her briefcase, and it just made it made it more believable for Charlotte to be the one that lost to Carmella instead of Asuka. I mean, people were mad at Charlotte beating Asuka clean at WrestleMania. I think the fans would have been even more pissed if Carmella just cashed in her briefcase and pretty much won the title. So I pretty much look at it in that perspective. And my god, frickin' people messaging me while I am recording! I fricking hate it. So, I'm just leaving that out there for everyone, so that way you guys can understand where I'm coming from to why I feel Charlotte winning this actually did make a bit of sense. But again, I understand why people were upset about this one. To me, the result should not ruin what a great match it was. I think the one thing I always find annoying is how people will always say the result of a match ruins the match for them. And to some extent, I can agree. But I feel like if the match is really good, I don't think the result really should be the sole reason why you hate a certain match. At least that's how I feel about it, in my opinion. So Charlotte won, extending her record to 2-1. WrestleMania 35, Charlotte Flair was a part of the triple threat with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey in the winner-takes-all championship match. The only thing that this match did that was better than the one with Roman Reigns is that this did not unify the titles into one. That is the only thing that this match did that was better. This match did not end up crowning Becky Lynch the undisputed women's champion. They didn't call it the undisputed women's championship. They didn't unify it into one title. They just had Becky carry around 2 belts. They had her defend both belts singularly. That is how they should have handled Roman Reigns when he won both belts. But instead, they unified his belts into one and said, yeah, he can now defend. Him holding both now means he will defend them both at once, which was something I always hated. To me, as much as I hate winner-takes-all matches, this match, to me, was better. They handled this one better than what they did with Roman and Brock. And Becky Lynch was the winner of this match, and she pinned Ronda Rousey, giving Ronda Rousey her first loss, even though Sasha and Bayley did it in a tag team match. So look at it that way as you will. And Charlotte Flair was not the one that got pinned. I mean, to be fair, Becky pinning Ronda made more sense than her pinning Charlotte anyway. But people didn't want Charlotte in this match anyway. So, it is what it is. Maybe we could have had an Asuka-Charlotte rematch at WrestleMania, but you gotta remember that they originally planned Asuka. If Asuka was to stay champion, they originally planned Asuka to verse Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in a triple threat, and apparently Mandy Rose was going to become the champion. So, would have you been okay with that over Charlotte beating Asuka again? At the time, Mandy Rose wasn't... Look, I love Mandy. I definitely think during her time in NXT, she definitely greatly got better. But would have you rathered a young, green Mandy Rose who wasn't exactly ready for the title picture to be a champion? Again, take that what you will. That was just something that was reported and that went around. That was just something that was reported that went around, and I think Mandy and Sonya might have confirmed it or something. I don't know. I don't know. I just remember hearing something about that Asuka was originally supposed to face Mandy and Sonya in a triple threat, and apparently Mandy was supposed to win. So again, I think Charlotte Flair did you guys a favor. At least in my opinion. WrestleMania 36. Charlotte battled Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this was the one match that I personally felt Charlotte really should have lost. Now, knowing we get a rematch between these two, I can now look back at this match and think to myself, yeah, Charlotte definitely should have lost this, but considering she gives back to Rhea Ripley, kind of makes me feel like, you know what, maybe I don't hate that Charlotte won. But again, I will say, Charlotte winning this match against Rhea Ripley didn't make any kind of sense. It's funny how, in 2020, they had Charlotte win the NXT Women's Championship for the very same reasons why they had Becky Lynch win it 3 years later. To boost NXT's ratings and to make people watch NXT. So, again, two women doing the exact same thing, but except people accepted Becky doing it while people hated Charlotte doing it. Because, oh, Becky's more likable than Charlotte. People just accept Becky doing it because she's Becky Lynch and she can get away with doing anything she wants. Whatever she does, fans are okay with her doing it, even though we all should be fair and be critical about it, and be fair and actually be fair and show double standards and not be biased. But yes, Charlotte at that time winning, I did not agree with. Rhea Ripley should have won this match against Charlotte Flair, but knowing she gets a rematch against her down the road, I can kind of feel okay about this one. And then Charlotte goes on to fight Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 38, where we all know this really should have been Sasha Banks. And I'm not going to talk about that whole discussion, because we all know people have brought up thinking about everything. We all know how bad this match was. We all know how stupid it was for them to pull the rug under Sasha Banks and then pass and do the whole thing with Ronda and Charlotte instead. Yes, it was stupid. Yes, it was stupid, and people didn't like it, and even I didn't like it. To be fair, I didn't even really want to see Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, because technically we already got it at Survivor Series, when Becky Lynch was supposed to fight her at Survivor Series. Technically, they already did fight at the Survivor Series. Do people remember when Charlotte versus Ronda at Survivor Series, when that was supposed to be Becky, but Becky got injured? So, again, we technically got this match. We technically already did see them fight. So, Charlotte won this one. I was okay. But, to me, that was the only good thing. Charlotte Flair winning the title at WrestleMania, but Ronda was always going to win the title anyway, so they probably should have just had Charlotte lose at this WrestleMania instead of giving Ronda the title at WrestleMania Backlash. So they should have just had Ronda win here instead. And then at WrestleMania 39, because Charlotte did not participate at WrestleMania 37, that was the only WrestleMania she missed. WrestleMania 39, she took on Rhea Ripley in a rematch that I will say was the best women's match in 2023. And people can argue with me. People can argue against it if they want to. I will firmly say Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley was the match of the year in 2023 when it came to women's matches. When it came to the women's matches, I was thoroughly into the match. I did not expect Rhea to win because of, the last time these two fought. I did not think Rhea was going to win because of what happened the last time. But Charlotte Flair put over Rhea Ripley clean, No shenanigans, no outside shenanigans, just a big riptide off the top rope, pinning Charlotte Flair clean for the 3, and Rhea Ripley becoming the women's champion, and Rhea Ripley remains champion to this day, to where I feel she will lose to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40. So that wraps up Charlotte Flair's WrestleMania streak at 4 wins and 3 losses. A nearly 50-50. A nearly 50-50 record. A nearly 50-50 record for the Queen. I do say so myself. So, will she be at WrestleMania 40? Probably not. I do not expect Charlotte to be at WrestleMania 40. I'm expecting WrestleMania 40 to be another WrestleMania that the Queen will be missing. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Charlotte missing a WrestleMania. She doesn't really need to be there. And it's quite poetic that both times she's missed WrestleMania was because of an injury. So, that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your thoughts down below. And you guys tell me whose WrestleMania record do you want me to talk about next. And I will see you all in the next video.